young as well. Right.
The Anglo-Zulu War of 1879 came about for various complicated reasons. The Battle of Isandlwana constituted the greatest defeat that Britain was ever to suffer in her entire colonial history.
Where the Zulu right horn blocked the track going back to Rorke Drift. There were 4,500 Zulu warriors up here, 4 regiments. Utulwana, Udloko, Indondlo, Sanga. Udloko, it was the regiment of my great-grandfather. Carried white shield, couple of throwing spears and stepping spear equa. The head, the chest and the left horn, they fought against the British soldiers at Isandlwana. We believe there were 220 British survivors start to descend down from the settlement on the right-hand side of the mountain Isandlwana, trying to get this track back to Rorke Drift. Only find that these 4,500 Zulu warriors, fresh one waiting for them. They rose up and they scream Usutu. Usutu is the war cry to encourage the Zulus to go and kill. All these soldiers, they were pushed towards their left 8 kilometers downstream to get a crossing point in a place called Sotondos's Drift. Afterwards it was called the Fugitives Drift, our camp. You look on the right hand side of the mountain is Isandlwana, the way beyond in the bush. You see some buildings there. If you can look carefully, you can see your hired cars. Fugitives Drift Lodge.
Okay.
We drove from there up to Rorke Drift. Rorke Drift mission station is on the far side of that mountain, forming a triangular shape. We crossed the Buffalo River. Baje Stream Manzimnyama. Now we are up here on the Ngutu Onyoni Omabaso height. I want you to imagine this convoy of 220 wagons and carts, 4,500 oxen, mules, horses. We saw a large number of the red coats coming towards them. The Zulus, they said we caught them as soon as we running. We didn't stop. Charlie Pope was his. The Zulus, they recognized Charlie Pope njengendoda enamehlo amathathu. There was the man of the 3 eyes. Charlie Pope was the monocle. In his classes, the Zulus, they said the man of the 3 eyes, he fought like a lion and he fell like a rock. Lawo masosha ayesesandlwana ayelwa njengamabhubesi awa njengamatshe. Those soldiers were at Isandlwana. They fought like a lion and they fell like a rock on their position. Charlie Pope and his men. But now 1040 saw those 2 big wagons, right where you see those monuments, those silver monuments. He went there with the hope that there's a lot of ammunition there. Only find that there was 1 ammunition box left in that wagon. 1040 picked up that ammunition box with that good hand. He put in the middle of this man. He said, come and stand with me. You're not going to run away from these Zulus. I know them. Come and stand with me. He said, fix bound bonds. Bound the Zulus as soon as they come. Those men, they fix bound it. They form the square. The Zulus, they failed to break that square down here. The Zulus, they end up crying. They said, this British soldier, they thrust an assegai deeply into a belly of the nations. Even King Letwayo cried after this. He said that those soldiers, they thrust an assegai deeply into a belly of my nation.
Bank of the river, cutting through Zulus while he went. And if you see this cliff, he made it to the top of that before a Zulu emerged and cut his horse's flank.
The Secretary of State for War has today received the following dispatch from Lord Chelmsford, Commander-in-Chief of Her Majesty's forces in Natal Colony, South Africa. I regret to report a very disastrous engagement which took place on the morning of the 22nd January between the armies of the Zulu king, Kechawea, and our own No. 3 column, consisting of 5 companies of the 1st Battalion, 24th Regiment of Foot, and 1 company of the 2nd Battalion, a total of nearly 1,500 men, officers, and other ranks. The Zulus, in overwhelming numbers, launched a highly disciplined attack on the slopes of the mountain of Isandlwana, and in spite of gallant resistance, the column was completely annihilated.
Tongues of fire amid crisp flaring, news of foemen near declaring, to heroic deeds of daring, call you Harlech men.
This note was the one that prompted Lord Chelmsford to move out of the camp and started moving in the southeast direction. While he was away, the Zulus were discovered from a completely different direction towards the northeast. The Zulus were to attack the camp at Isandlwana in form of the horns of the buffalo, the left horn, the head and the chest, and the right horn of the buffalo. But the right horn of the buffalo were not part of much fighting that took place at Isandlwana. And these are the ones that we refer to as the reserves, 4,500 of them. And they are the ones that, after the battle at Isandlwana, prevailed upon Udabulamanzi Kampande, who was the king's half-brother, to lead them to Rorke's Drift to start a fight here in Rorke's Drift. In Zululand around this time, in order to be given a privilege to get married, you'd have to bathe your spear in the blood of an enemy. Because they hadn't fought much at Isandlwana, they thought, well, we haven't had that opportunity, so we might as well go to Rorke's Drift. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be a walk in the park. We're gonna be in and we're gonna be out. Inside this building here, which was the hospital, we have about 39 men that were suffering from different diseases that they were picking up as they were marching up to Rorke's Drift. And in charge of the hospital here was a surgeon by the name of Sergeant Reynolds. And here we have about 28,000 rounds of ammunition. 28,000 rounds of ammunition, maize meal bags, biscuit boxes were stored inside this building here. And in charge of this storeroom here was a man by the name of James Langley Dalton. And Lord Chelmsford had left here about 100 men of 2nd Battalion B Company to look after this position here while he crossed the River Buffalo and moved deeper into Zululand. These men were under the command of Gonville, or Lieutenant Gonville Bromhead. Down by the river, we have the Royal Engineers. These men were under the command of John Child. He was now a senior officer in charge of this camp here. Now, while they were down there at the River Buffalo trying to fix the pond, they saw a couple of men galloping their horses along the old wagon route coming down to the river. These men were waving their hands like this, shouting, waving their hands. But from the distance, John Chad could not really hear exactly what they were trying to say. And when they arrived down at the River Buffalo, they delivered the news that the camp at Isandlwana had been taken by the Zulus and all the men on it had been killed. They also indicated that Lord Chelmsford himself had been killed by the Zulus at Isandlwana. But we all know now that Lord Chelmsford moved in the direction of the southeast. Persians are moving from one route to the other. Now here we have 2 defenders of this room here. 2 privates, one by the name of Private William Jones, and another one was a private called Private Robert Jones. And these men had been helping these patients through to the next room, but one man would stay and defend the door, would stay and defend the holes that they dug on here. They had fired at quite a number of Zulus, and the Zulus were laying down here dead. And we are here today to remember these heroes. The Royal Welsh Regiment have given me a wreath here to give to you, Andrew, today. The officers, the NCOs and the soldiers have asked me to give this to you so that you can lay it in this wreath at the British Cemetery and I've got a pen and paper so that you can be able to write your little message on it, because you are related to Private Robert Jones, PC, the hero of Rorke Street.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Heavenly Father, you hold in the palm of your hand the living and the departed. We remember today those who gave their lives in service in this place, both Zulu and Regiment, and those who fought bravely, in particular Private Robert Jones, who we remember today. May we all come to know the peace and joy won for us through the sacrifice of your Son, our Saviour, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Groans of wounded peasants dying, wails of wives and children flying, for the distant succor crying, for you, harlot men. Shall the voice of ways of wailing, now wean and then now hailing, you to rouse who never yet in battles are failing.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
For those whose lives in the Battle of Rorke's Drift have been given and taken away, we pray for all who in bereavement, disability and pain.
Usu! 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 Babe hapa, si hapa. Babe hapa, si hapa.
Lieutenant Colonel Owen Luke, commanding officer of 1st Battalion, the Royal Welsh, will now lay the wreath.
This our answer, crowds down pouring, swift as winter torrents.
We gather as friends to remember once more an illustrious date on a South African far shore, and reflect how our forebears, under Charge Bromhead's command, defended Rorke's Drift with determination so grand. And so now we pray, as we settle to dine, giving thanks to God for good food, good friends, and good wine. Very good. I'm really sorry for that.
This piece of silver, I'm going to read it to you so I don't mess this up, presented to the officers' mess, 1st Battalion, 24th Regiment, on promotion by Lieutenant William Eccles Mostyn at the Curragh Camp, 23rd of March, 1866. Mostyn was a company commander out of Isandlwana. He was killed out of Isandlwana. And this was given to us by the regiment on the proviso that we remain here.
Please join me in standing and raise your glasses to reconciliation.
Reconciliation.
Thank you so much.
My family to share today has been incredible, absolutely incredible. Planning this for 2 years and more, since I was a very small child, and newspaper cuttings, everything that came out for 24th Regiment, of which obviously Robert was part of. We followed you around for 2 days. You've been welcoming, professional, a credit to your CO, and on that note, I would like you all to be upstanding with me and raise your glasses to the 24th Regiment. 24th Regiment.
Tongues of fire amid crisp flaring, news of foemen near declaring, to heroic deeds of daring, call you Harlech men. Groans of wounded peasants dying, wails of wives and children flying, for the distant succor crying, call you Harlech men.
In the 100 years since the Victoria Cross was created for valour and extreme courage, beyond that normally expected of a British soldier in face of the enemy, only 1,344 have been awarded. 11 of these were won by the defenders of the mission station at Rorke's Drift, Natal, January 22nd to the 23rd, 1879. Frederick Schiess, Corporal, Natal Native Contingent. William Allen, Corporal, B Company, 2nd Battalion, 24th Foot. Fred Hitch, Private, B Company, 2nd Battalion, 24th Foot. James Langley Dalton, Acting Assistant Commissary, Army Commissariat Department. 612 John Williams, Private, B Company, 2nd Battalion, 24th Foot. 716 Robert Jones, 593 William Jones, Privates, B Company, 2nd Battalion, 24th Foot. Henry Hook, Private, B Company, 2nd Battalion, 24th Foot. James Henry Reynolds, Surgeon Major, Army Hospital Corps. Gonville Bromhead, Lieutenant, B Company, 2nd Battalion of the 24th Regiment of Foot, South Wales Borderers. John Rouse Marriott Chard, Lieutenant, Royal Engineers, Officer Commanding, Rorke's Drift.
From the hill the guns rebounding, let us war thy sounding, summon all that come restore, the mighty force surrounding. Men of Harlech unto glory, this will ever be your story. Keep